First thing I did was miter the edges of both the top and bottom boards, 45-degree angle on both sides. Next, I cut down the two sides and the middle divider. You also want to take your two sides and miter them at a 45-degree angle. Do not miter the middle divider. Then it's time to assemble the box or the frame. You want to use wood glue and clamps. Tons of clamps. You never can have enough clamps. I then threw in a couple pocket screws and some brad nails just to make sure this thing was secure. Securing this thing and having it straight flush was probably one of the hardest parts of the project, getting everything to line up. But if you have enough patience, you eventually get a box. Next, I put in my middle shelf divider and checked it with my speed square to make sure it was straight. I then secured it to the top and bottom with pocket holes. I then went to work on the legs for the cabinet. I'm using 2x2s and my pocket hole jig to basically make a rectangle for each side and the middle to stand on. I'm securing with wood glue and pocket screws and clamps. Once you get the three sides done, I would take these and I would secure this to the cabinet through the middle. And then once you have that on, I would take the top and attach the top of the rectangular. I then cut out all the sides for my doors and took these sides over to my router table and routed out grooves in each of the sides. These grooves are going to be what you're going to slide the placemat into when you make the doors. I then put pocket holes in each of the long sides of the doors. This is how I'm going to attach the door frames together once the placemats are in. Notice the placement of the 45-degree angle. It needs to be completely flat against the bottom of this Kreg jig. That way that the pocket holes will go directly into the next board. Trust me on this one. I then went on to staining the entire piece. I wiped the whole thing down with mineral spirits to clean the woods, and then I went on to staining. I used Rubio Monocoat in bourbon for the first coat. Made sure the entire piece was covered in this, and then I went over it again with black. And this was just a thin coat, and I just kind of rubbed it in. This really brought out the color and made it pop and match with those light placemats. Please do not be like me and wear gloves. I ended up having an allergic reaction to the stain. Next, we need to add hinges to all the doors. I used this Kreg jig concealed hinge contraption here, and it worked perfectly. I really don't know how people made doors before this. Check out that soft close, though. Now the fun part, putting the placemat into the doors. They should slide right into your grooves. Mine were a little tight, so I used the mallet. But once you have the whole thing assembled, you use pocket screws to secure the sides together. Hanging the doors by yourself was a little tricky. I had planned for 1/8 of an inch around all of the sides of the doors with the frame. I used some coasters to help prop the door up, but once I got it up, worked like a charm. Next, we added pocket holes to our shelves so that we could attach them in the cabinets. I don't remember if I told you to cut down your shelves, but if I didn't, here's a reminder to cut down your shelves. And then they should just level and screw in the pocket holes on the bottom. Lastly, we need to add the handles. I put mine on the top just because I thought that's where they looked the best, but you could really put them anywhere. Just 2 holes and then shove them through. Done. All the doors open, and check out that soft close. So amazing.